Now, GJRB presents The Last 7 Days. In this time of lawlessness and utter chaos, there's a program that puts it all into perspective. This is the program where men and women gather to discuss current events and how it lines up with Bible prophecy. And now, The Last 7 Days.
Verse chapter 2. So they could get a star on their drugs, before they wouldn't be able to get on an airplane.
Wow.
That's a new regulation.
Yeah.
Really? That's a new
That's
regulation.
got to be completed by next year, October 2020.
What we say?
Yeah, 2020 till October 2020 to do it. Or you can't go to the courthouse, you can't go to Yellowstone building up there with the military, you can't do any of that. Any government building you can't enter without that star.
Strange.
I love you, buddy, but you know, I might be taking the short back
Nah, you're not not allowed. You're always trying to cheat, or try to
Cheat
that.
Always trying to cheat that.
Make it
You don't
so
start recording today.
No.
Hey, if it's a race, you get there any way you can.
No cut across the infield.
Yeah, there you go. Stay in the dugout.
This is me going, hey, look!
Okay, we'll get started here. I don't know how many of you heard this, but Jordan has criticized Israel for opening the Pilgrim's Road, which is the road, the Catholics call it the Via Dolorosa,
Yeah.
the Pilgrim's Road to the temple. So Jordan's upset with him because it goes to the temple, and of course they don't want all those people coming to the temple.
Oh, of course not.
All those Christians and all those Jewish people. But this is they just unveiled the pillar. They call it the Pilgrim's Road.
Wow.
And it's the road in which the pilgrims travel to get to the temple. So we're getting closer and closer to the building the temple.
Yeah. Soon they'll say, well, it has to be inclusive for everybody.
So they're getting closer and closer to building.
Building the temple.
The what?
The temple in Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Dennis. Hey, Dennis.
Dennis.
Yeah.
Hi, Dennis. Good to see you.
Which is not necessarily a good thing.
You just missed the building of the temple.
They just
The road is built there.
Or did they just...
They opened up the Pilgrim's Road, which is the Catholics called the Via Dolorosa, I believe, road.
Road that Jesus is supposed to take.
Steve and Chuck are outside waiting to start.
Go to the cross, I believe.
Dad,
That's supposed to lead right
Is she
into...
coming in?
Steve and Chuck are outside waiting to start their painting job.
Well, but remember, he didn't march from the temple to the cross.
Okay.
He went from the government office.
Okay. Hong Kong protesters, there have been a lot of Hong Kong protesters. Hong Kong got absorbed back into China. The British gave it back in, I think, 1997. And Hong Kong wanted to stay kind of independent. And now they're passing a new law in which criminals would be processed in China, if that's China's decision. So the mayor of Hong Kong is a Catholic. So wow. So there's been huge protests, and she's kind of a puppet of the Chinese government. But there's been a huge protest in Hong Kong, and the song "Sing Hallelujah to the Lord" has become the theme song to the protests. Sing
Interesting.
hallelujah to the Lord.
I love that.
See?
When a whole-
Well, anyhow, that has become the protest song for the protesting in Hong Kong. So, which is so they're not really they're trying to do it peacefully.
No, trying to take I don't think food from the American civil rights movement and others.
Yeah,
I have a funny feeling though, that
Earlier, the tanks come
peacefully is the key word.
like they did.
I remember when we first were saying it, that National Geographic, all kinds of people did speculations of what it would be like after it was turned over. But you never, at least I never did see a comprehensive article on, what it was like, except to hear these reports that, like you say, it was never totally absorbed. They were just being nibbled away piece by piece as far as their previous
well, they're under British rule.
freedoms. Well, they aren't anymore.
No, I know, but they were turned over in 1997.
Because the British had it on, I think, a 100-year lease or whatever, and when it expired, they didn't argue about it. They just made plans to turn it back. Now, the opposite story, and of course, the place you never hear about is the Portuguese similar province of Macau. That's still held by the Portuguese.
Wow.
And China has made no move to take it over.
Well, I thought that was interesting. 10% of China is Christians. So, wow.
Yeah, there was I forget what it was called, but there was a heavy move there that people realized Christianity had something for them.
Yeah. So, I just thought that was kind of interesting.
That did make the national news a couple of nights ago.
Yeah.
It will be for quite a while.
You always wonder about the things that NBC and the others choose to publicize and the things that get ignored.
The deaths of despair. More millennials are taking their life than any other generation. More millennials are dying of deaths of despair, deaths related to drugs, alcohol, suicide. And of course, this is as reported by Time magazine. And of course, this is also the age group of people that are not attending church or have any affiliation.
Right.
We just had another suicide here on Comanche. Another suicide in Comanche?
36,000 American millennials in 2017 alone. 36,000.
So, well, let's see, that's not quite one per state.
But a lot of
1,000 per state.
Yeah.
a lot of work, and even in a world where we have all the computers and all the iPhone and all that, is still, because of lack of communication, they say it's a part of the problem. We don't communicate.
Don't meet up face to face. Everybody's on their phones.
And I already thought that Babylon was already a UNESCO World Heritage Site, but apparently it's not. So the ancient city of Babylon is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Remember that during the Iraq War that Saddam Hussein was kind of rebuilding the ruins there? Well, he was rebuilding the ruins, but he also was building his palace there on top of the grounds. So
Imagine that.
Yeah, so they had to tear that down, and then the United States Army used it as a base. So, basically now it is a World Heritage Site. So it's under international treaties to be protected.
There was some talk that that people avoided messing with during the war, but now you say that Americans were actually either quartering it or protecting it.
They were protecting it, but they used it as a base, and has suffered some for that.
I think it was, if you say it wasn't actually a World Heritage Site yet, it was proposed at least,
Yeah.
but probably, warfare and stuff disrupted whatever plans there were.
No, what is that? That means that they're going to special funding for it?
Yeah, they get funding to it too. Yeah, Iraq has been lobbying for it since 1983, so almost 40 years.
Right.
So what's significant about this is the Bible talks in the book of Revelations about Babylon, and
Right.
this kind of
That's a foundation from that.
it could be the actual city of Babylon. I mean, this could help literally fulfill what we see in the book of Revelations.
Just kind of like the people that want to rebuild the temple in Jerusalem. Hasten things along, whatever.
Okay, and so in this segment of articles, goodbye dollar, nice seeing you.
That was on my news the other day.
And basically, these articles are about.
They had the thing on TV the other day. Kay and I watched it. They're going to start the European money system in 2020. It'll be finished by 2025. It'll be worldwide by 2025. So your money, your dollar bill will be European currency. Will have a U.S. currency.
Wow.
2020.
No, we're just trying to get set up for an international money
Like
system.
2025.
That'd probably be the new world order too, isn't it?
2025, but they'll start it in 2020. So right now it just affects commerce, like, change between countries, but before long you'll be in your billfold.
Wonderful.
Or a person would do.
Those of us that have traveled overseas know that, for a long time, American money, followed by the British, was the standard. I mean, you could be in almost any country and have some of their money, but you could make transactions directly in American or British, without having to go through a money changer.
Mm-hmm.
People would accept it because they could convert it later.
Okay, and so these articles are about. The next two articles is about different people that are wanting to go to a cashless society, and this is, we're heading to a cashless society.
Yeah.
So there's been some talk that President Trump's trade policies and is helping push towards a European
Common market. Well,
one world currency. The reason being is the United States and Europe is at odds with how to treat Iraq. How to treat Iraq. The Europeans right now have been funding and helping the Iraqis, and the United States has been trying to put a trade embargo on them so they won't get nuclear weapons. So there's been some talk that because of Trump's trade policies, it's actually helping push to a cashless society and coin towards the European common market is using.
Personally, when the euro was invented, people had hopes that would become an international currency, or at least be on par with the American dollar as a world trade thing, and it has pretty much.
Well, it will be more when the United States goes down too. These are good coin.
So these are a couple of stories that deal with going to a cashless society. So I'm going to let Dan. I'm going to step up for a few minutes. I'm going to let Dan look at that, and then the next series of articles is about the weather and what's happening with the weather. And I'm going to let Dennis work on those. So,
we just pass this around, which one?
well, no, you're going to read it, and,
Okay.
but the idea of it is these are all signs and last days. What would be easy to see is that if you looked at Matthew chapter 24, it's a very concise teaching on all the signs of the last days.
Yeah.
And
Visit www.eicc.edu to explore the careers offered at Clinton Community College. For more information, financial aid, textbooks, and more, call 563-244-7001. Now is the time to find out more about what they all have to offer. Clinton Community College, the community's college.
Clinton County Area's Solid Waste Agency offers responsible options in handling solid waste items. CCASWA not only offers landfill services, but also food container recycling, appliance, tire, and electronic waste recycling, yard waste composting, and also hosts a regional collection center for household hazardous waste for Clinton County residents. For more information on the variety of services that CCASWA offers, call 563-243-4749 or visit ccaswa.com.
Hi, Mary. How was your day? Very nice, thanks. I saw the comprehensive rehab van drop off Ashley when I was at school today. She had that big smile that I love.
The therapy has made an unbelievable difference in her behavior. She's like a new little girl.
Do they charge for the van service?
No, it's free. With my job and John on the road, we can't take her to therapy.
Call 877-530-6356 today for a free screening. Comprehensive rehab, physical, occupational, and speech therapy for all ages.
Now, back to the last 7 days.
I sent you a text for Pearl Street code.
it will go.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll be right back.
kind of code in the text.
I'll roll this up and then put up a year.
Paper airplane.
You can keep your ears. Okay, this is Bank of America CEO says company wants a cashless society. Bank of America CEO Brian Mohana spoke this week about embracing digital payment transactions while moving toward a cashless society. Mohana made the comment Wednesday during Fortune Brainstorm Finance Conference in New York. The CEO spoke about Zelle, Google, Pay and Apple Pay, and its increasing popularity. He said Bank of America will continue to move toward digital banking transactions. We want a cashless society. I don't. I don't either. I threw that one in there for extra commentary. Mohana told Fortune Sean Tolley, we have more to gain than anybody from a pure operating cost perspective. He explained that Bank of America spends, drumroll please, $5 billion for checks and cash to move around their company. That's a pocket change. Okay. Pocket change.
There won't be no more pocket change, that's the thing.
See, I like it.
What they're not telling you though in that is it's not just that it's going to save them money to move money. It's also the easiest way that you can have to lock down knowing exactly what assets people have, how much money they have, and how much they're worth.
Yeah.
So that you can control what they buy and sell sooner or later, and you can control how they live.
Well, they're doing that. Part of that now, you know how they're doing that now, don't you? Is when you get paid, they want direct deposit.
Yeah.
That's why the government wants to look over direct deposit. Well, we can freeze your account. We can, take money out if we need it.
And if they're in control of
so they're going to outlaw eventually getting any checks in the mail.
It's part of social engineering. If they can control your money, they can control your life. So if you're doing something that they don't like, sooner or later it's going to be, well, we're going to lock all your assets until you change your behavior.
Oh boy, this is interesting.
Wonderful.
Forget the drama. Okay.
Could somebody explain to me what digital, what?
Yeah, you know, you go to the bank and you look up how much you owe. Well, somebody's put money in your bank account through digital. They'll transfer one digital, like a computer, to the bank, and then the bank will receive it on their computer.
It's being able to do your transactions without any real money. It's, you know, like Monopoly. It's not real money. It's just, it's a concept of money.
Right.
So they don't have, with digital, they don't have to back it up with a gold standard or with any standard. It's just, as long as everybody buys into the system, it works. When people stop believing that there's anything to it, it won't work.
Yeah, right. They have to have confidence in it.
Right.
Once they lose that, then it's just a big crash.
Of course, when we were predicting a cashless society, I remember, you know, back when I was growing up in the 50s, you know, there were all these dioramas and things being shown of what people thought it would be like in 2000.
Yeah.
And one of the predictions was that by 2000, nobody would be using paper money and coins anymore. We'd all be using plastic cards. Well, it didn't come quite that quickly, but it's been in that direction. Of course, now the computer people are saying,
That same prediction they had in the 70s, too.
Yeah, why bother with plastic cards? Oh, let's just make computer entries. That's what they're talking about now.
Also, if you notice, it used to be on our coins, you got to trust. If you look at any of your cards today, they didn't have that on there.
Imagine that.
Take the guy out of our finances.
Exactly.
The new coins they've done that with now?
Well, that's what's new coins for the cards. They don't have it, got to trust on them. You look at your credit card, it didn't say that, sure.
Yeah, well, digital transactions are even worse than that because they're anonymous. I mean, there's nothing, you can't hold anything or read anything off it. It's just a number that goes to another bank or to your bills or wherever it goes.
Here's one from Wall Street. It says, social media giant Facebook is expected to reveal its new digital cryptocurrency next week. Backed by Visa, MasterCard, Uber, and others. Something like Uber, something like
Facebook could do that too?
Uber. Yeah. This is Uber, E-B-E-R, but it sounds like Uber. Anyway, sounds like something right from Baby Hey, Uber. No.
That's the car transport company, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It says the Wall Street Journal reports that social media giant Facebook plans to reveal its new Libra digital cryptocurrency next week with backing from over a dozen other companies. Visa, MasterCard are reportedly quite invested in the currency, while other Silicon Valley firms such as PayPal, Uber, Stripe, and Booking.com are fully supporting the currency. Each of these
Booking.com, I think,
each of these firms will invest around pocket change, $10 million, to fund further development of the currency and become part of the Libra Association. The association will act as an independent group which will govern the coin independently from Facebook. The involvement of Visa and MasterCard is investing as cryptocurrency can act as viable alternative to these services offered by these firms and could be direct competition. Some have suggested that the firm's involvement is an attempt to keep track of Facebook's currency. Others have implied alternative motives. I'm going to do that one. Oh yeah, there is more. Oh yeah, there is more on this side. Okay.
It's probably a long article.
Yeah. Keep in mind that these entities are each paying $10 million for the privilege of running a node, aka unlimited access to transitional data. What this announcement actually means is that now Visa Mac, PayPal, and Facebook are each getting unfettered access to users' data.
Oh, man.
I knew that didn't sound good at the beginning.
Instead of fighting the credit card companies want to get in on it.
Just in, Facebook brings Visa, MasterCard, and PayPal as backers of cryptocurrency. Okay. But here, below this it says 673 people are talking about this. Actually, it was 1,284 at 5:53 p.m. June 13th of 2019. I think it dropped them. Okay. The cryptocurrencies reported to be called Libra and will be revealed on June 18th.
Wonderful.
With plans to release coin fully to 2020. Is expected to act as stable coin, meaning its value will be attached to a number of government-issued currencies in order to limit the vitality of the value of the coin, an issue which Bitcoin has faced for some time. Of course, it's always going to drop value when you got government involved. Users will be able to send Libra via Facebook products such as WhatsApp and Messengers. Report also claimed that the number of participants with online retailers will allow users to spend the coin in many locations online. Wow. Facebook is reporting also considering developing ATM-like physical machines in which people can convert their regular money into Libra. Wow.
Wow, it's like really spooky.
Yeah, it's called.
There already was a computerized coin system called Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Apparently, that was too flexible or something, and so now they want to go.
So Bitcoin's gone.
Well, not necessarily gone, but it may just disappear.
There wasn't enough confidence in Bitcoin to keep it going because they didn't have the security that cryptocurrency has.
Right. Wonderful. So your Libra was announced as, here's what the coin is called.
The encryption is
global,
so that people
global coin
into it and steal the money. It's
cryptocurrency.
It's
so
got,
they can't break it.
Right, it's got an encryption on the currency, so without the key to the encryptor, you can't grab the money. So you have the money here, there's an encryption on top of it that has a certain number key that locks that, and there's a key someplace else for that encryption. Without the key, you can't get to the money behind the encryption.
So the banks and Facebook,
Only
all
the
those
person-
people can get it.
Only the
But
person
not.
with the key, and there's only one key. It's like locking that door and only having one key to it. Only the person holding the key can get to the encryption.
Terrific.
Zuckerberg, or whatever his name is.
So how do you use it?
Whoever.
Well, see,
Zuckerberg.
you have the money. It's sitting out there in the cyber world. You don't know where it is. It's just floating around out there.
Wow.
And what happens is that money is encrypted. What you're buying is the key. So the encryption of that money is in your hands. You can unlock it, but nobody else can.
Are you saying that one of these times that they're going to give us a key?
Well, it's not really
on
a
the
key.
computer.
It's
not
electronic
computer code.
Electronic stuff.
It's an electronic lock. Is what it is. It's a series of digital numbers that unless you have that piece of information, you can't unlock the money.
Kind of like having a password for something.
Well, what if a person doesn't have the internet? Or they don't have a computer?
You're stuck.
Well, see, that's the whole problem with this whole thing.
There's a lot of people who don't have it.
You're right.
Including
The people that don't, that generation is growing older. That's why this is set off until like 2030.
Do it in bits and pieces until people...
Until all of us die.
Way of doing things.
So it's the only way you can do it.
It's absolutely imperative that our children learn how to do all the computer stuff in school. That's why they have computer classes.
They're doing it by kindergarten.
It's not to benefit the kids. It's to lock them into this kind of a system.
This is why today's little kids are walking around with phones in their hand.
Where older people didn't accept it.
Yeah. Right.
That's just like...
We have a hard time because in our generation, you lay down the money, you saw the cash.
Right.
In this system, you don't see anything. All you do is you have the confidence that it's there.
So if your check is no good, it bounces. Anyway, I was going to say that the name of the place that previously announced that is going to be called Global, G-L-O-B-A-L. Global, right.
Global, that's the way they're spelling
That's
it.
global.
Coin.
Coin.
That's what it's called.
A global coin. Here comes Ron.
Oh, and just,
We haven't gotten anywhere.
they're now coming out with
We've been
cars.
talking about money for quite some time.
They're coming out with cars that will be able to fly like George Jetsons. They're coming out with those. They're already processing.
Well, one was already manufactured.
Right, but they're coming out in bulk. But anyway, the second one too is they're coming out with cars now that only your fingerprints.
Oh yeah, those are out.
Right.
They had a guy on Coast to Coast talking about that too. He already had built a car. He was on with George Norrie.
Yeah, they got the cars on.
And by the way, the fingerprint, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Tip of the iceberg.
And when you grab hold of the steering wheel, it'll be able to read your biometrics and find out if you're you're going to have a stroke or your blood sugars are too high or you have too much alcohol in your system.
Yeah, shut it off.
Or you have a car. I would hate to have cars talk to me. You get in a car, you want to drive it. Get out, I'll drive myself. Whoa! No.
I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this. If you think that sounds unreasonable, Cadillac, so for some years now, have air-conditioned steering wheels. Wow. For some years.
Wow.
Well, folks,
Heated and air-conditioned.
heated seats.
Yes. So, I mean, Cadillacs had that. So, I mean,
They had it.
what you can do with steering wheels is really incredible. And the steering wheel will be the thing that determines whether or not you drive or not. And of course, it'll be pegged as, nobody can steal your car that way because it'll be biometrically applied to your car.
And you can actually take off driving drunk.
And you can't drive.
I think they might bypass that altogether and just go straight to no steering wheel.
Yeah,
no brake, no.
And that's what they're going to go to. That's what they're going to go to.
You're just going to have little shuttles that you sit in and they take you any place that wants to take you because, you can say go to the airport and drive you to the police station if they think you're wanted or something.
Well, eventually they'll be
airport in Chicago.
Yeah.
No, I didn't mean this airport.
Yeah.
So that's probably where Alexa comes
You gotta
in.
go there and then reprogram.
But again, even when there's no steering wheels, there'll be television cameras mounted into it.
And biometrics.
And biometrics.
You won't get away from that.
UPS is going to be delivering your mail by UPS without no person.
I saw where China has 200 million surveillance cameras on their streets.
Wow.
200 million surveillance cameras on their streets. And
That's not counting in the homes.
that's not counting homes.
Because they
That's
have
just
their
on
homes
the
too.
streets. They have 200 million cameras. And they also have artificial intelligence scanning those cameras.
Which can scan them quicker.
Exactly.
Which can scan them all.
Which should scan and with all the information that's fed into the system, can facial recognition.
They put
We're toast.
they didn't want to come here not too long ago.
We're not toast.
We're trying to find a guy that robbed a bank, and I think they said it was going to be, some of this, but Anyway, they said they put the analysis of the computer into this camera, and they had hundreds of people. It was like they went to the Olympics or something like this, just to see if they could find this person. Zeroed in on the person and said, that's him.
You know, talking about cars, like yesterday was a milestone. And it was when the last Volkswagen Beetle model was produced in Mexico. And they said that that particular car is going to the Mexican National Museum.
Wow.
But that, if you look at that Volkswagen online, hey, you go to try to get out of it, as the beeper comes on and then says, turn off the headlights.
You know, when you look at 1984, the movie, and see what's happening today in the world.
That's scary.
Actually,
we have went past 1984.
Yeah.
We are far more. What 1984 didn't take in consideration is the technology, because when he wrote the book, George Orwell wrote the book. It was technology wasn't there.
Yeah, and he wrote that book in what, the 60s?
1948.
Yeah, 48.
Before 50.
Came out in the 60s.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
it was called 84, right?
So here's the thing that I always think about, is I always think about all the early Christian movies, where a group of Christians go out in the woods and they hang out and hide. The chances of that, you know, I always thought that, you know...
Oh, the Left Behinds and things.
Yeah, the Left Behinds, you know, there's always Christians. And God could put his hand around a place. I don't doubt that. But, you know, in the natural, which again, God operates in the supernatural, but in the natural, we're getting to a place where I look at all these Chinese Christians, 10% that's China is Christians, you know, they're all identified and there's just nowhere to hide.
No.
There's 200 million cameras.
And you might as well not hide.
And you might as well not hide then.
So the camera say, hi, Mom.
Let's keep living and hoping.
Well, not only living and hoping, but standing out in the public arena and pronouncing the glory of God, because that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Now, the early church did a combination of both. Sometimes there was Christians that hid out, but there was also many Christians that were out visible. So, but again, they didn't have the technology. The government in control did not have the technology that we have today.
Let's take the movie The Thief in the Night. She had nowhere to hide. You know, she was there running, and they kept on finding her.
But yet, even in those early days without the technology, think of how many Christians were slaughtered in the arenas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they were found out, and others just publicly...
the gospel boldly,
they were. Yes, they were just boldly progressed.
They knew it.
You know, between both of them, you know.
And that's the balance, you know, you have to have discernment, and you have to hear the voice of God to know whether or not you're supposed to not be, or whether or not you're supposed to stand out. But one thing I always thought is, in the last days, if you're going to die for Christ, don't die running.
Right.
Die proclaiming.
Yes. And I don't think, look at, we're having this discussion, but many countries in the world right today, they're living it. Mm-hmm. You know, we're just discussing it right now, whether or not, what to do if persecution comes.
Yeah.
Well, we're always reminded that persecution isn't going to destroy the church.
No.
It's not going to destroy the church. Matter of fact, persecution only emboldens it and strengthens it.
Mm-hmm.
Refined by the fire.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's just coming to a point right now where there's going to be a division between, boys and men.
Who are real Christians and who are displaying.
There's not going to be any, gray area. Yeah. But we're just seeing things right now that they're talking about in the world today, just somewhere that's unfathomable, just a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Everything's accelerating.
What drives the world crazy crazy and inflames them is because no matter what they do to Christianity, Christianity gets stronger.
Yeah. Well, I'll take these down.
Okay.
The whole thing of it is that take a look at China. No mega churches. We talked about in the Bible studies. The early church did not start by mega churches.
Small groups.
Small groups.
Yeah.
What started the early church? Small groups. 10 to 20 people. 10 to 15 was the common size of church in their homes.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, 2.5 families, which was the average. That's what made up and propelled Christianity forward. And mega churches is not going to do it here in the United States.
I think we're going to get back to that sooner or later, but we're going to be doing it in this way. It's going to be out of necessity, because right now we have this philosophy that the church is a hospital. It's not a hospital. The church is not here to fix broken people inside the church building. When the first church started, you didn't get to the church until you were a believer. You didn't get to be added among them daily until you accepted Christ and started following the way of Christ. Because it was very imperative that they knew who was among them, or they would be turned in.
And see, that's what it is. The Roman government was always looking for informants.
But that's how they picked their elders and deacons, is you had to come up through the ranks.
So I think we're going to come to the place again where we stop. Church is going to be a gathering of believers again, instead of a bunch of people that are some believers, some non-believers in a place so they can become believers. The idea of getting new believers, new converts, was out in the world, and then you brought them in.
To send them out.
That's what happened with Constantine.
They sent them out.
He Christianized everybody, and anybody walked through the doors was all of a sudden Christianized.
Okay, signs of the times. Weather patterns all over the planet are going absolutely nuts. I don't think there's any disagreement on that.
Storm's coming to Louisiana.
I posted a picture on Facebook here, I think it was yesterday, that tornado. You should see this funnel. It's so large they had a little loop in it.
Yeah. Well, they said Louisiana, 3 states now are under hurricane watch.
Yeah.
That's normal.
No, I know what I'm
That's
saying.
normal every year.
Right, but I'm just saying, it's with all the
And it sounds like it's going
Maybe it's the same one you use.
In fact, Sierra Francis lives in...
Here's a few statistics. Now this article is June 26th because, we've been 3 weeks, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, Colorado had, at the end of June, they had 20 inches of snow. Okay.
Yeah.
Which you think, okay, well, Colorado, they get snow in June. No.
That was their start of their summer.
Due to the new snow Friday, into the weekend, the Natural Resources Conservation Service reported that the state snowpack ballooned to 4,121% above normal as of Monday. 4,121% above normal, the snowpack in Colorado. 10%, 20%, 1,000% more.
See.
In other words, 20 times normal.
This number is so high because ordinarily very little snow is left in late June. The cold temperatures late into the spring helped preserve what felt earlier. I mean, that's just one of the facts. Europe has had the hottest month. June was the hottest month in history. And then